Yeah, I thought that was, yeah, that was great. Yeah. What do you think? Good? Good? Cool. Good deal. Let me jump on here. Wow, that is super staticky. I see what you're saying.
What happened? It may be coming down to the field because of the rain, I'm guessing.
Gotcha. Check. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I can hear Blake this time, at least a little bit.
That's helpful.
Yes.
Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Danny Trejo, Ronaldo Damas, Tyler Pasher.
She sells seashells down by the seashore.
Yeah, let's see if I can one-shot this. Just give me a countdown. Back home and ready for an important week, Birmingham Legion FC is eager to put their trip to Kentucky behind them with 2 chances for points here at Protective Stadium, starting with tonight's showdown against Sacramento Republic FC. Birmingham Legion taking on 2 Western Conference foes. A Wednesday night showdown in Week 16 of the USL Championship is next. Yeah. All right, Mensa.
They made 4. Sacramento's made 4 changes.
Yeah. Back home and ready for an important week, Birmingham Legion FC is eager to put their trip to Kentucky. Back home and home and ready for an important week, Birmingham Legion FC is eager to put their trip to Kentucky behind them with 2 chances for points here at Protective Stadium, starting with tonight's showdown against Sacramento Republic FC. Birmingham Legion taking on 2 Western Conference foes. The Wednesday night showdown in Week 16 of the USL Championship is next.
We've had rain and thunderstorms all day here in the Magic City, but finally those are gone and we are ready to start week number 16 in the USL Championship, featuring Birmingham Legion FC taking on Sacramento Republic FC. Here at Protective Stadium in the uptown side of the Magic City. Glad to have you with us tonight, everybody. Alongside Morgan Copes, I'm Blake Gardner. Kennedy Baxter downstairs will join us here in just a moment as well. But Morgan, this is the start for Birmingham Legion of a very big week.
Yeah, it's vital for them. They're going to be looking at both of these games as 2 games where they could walk away with 3 points in each.
Meanwhile, for Sacramento Republic, they're struggling to find their scoring boots here over the last couple of games. They're down in 10th in the Western Conference, trying to make up some ground here the early part of this year.
They are, and they've got a game or 2 in hand, but the most positive thing for them, I think, so far is that they have a positive goal difference. You can see they're +4. They've done a good job of keeping people out. They just need to find their scoring boots, as you mentioned, put some more balls in the back of the net, and they should be just fine. On the other side, with Legion FC, we talk about goal difference with Sacramento and the position they're in. You look at Legion FC, same position, similar number of games, but a -6 goal difference. And when you take and compare these 2 teams and look at them side by side, you immediately go to goals conceded. And Legion FC have conceded 20 versus only 11 for Sacramento.
By XG allowed, Sacramento Republic has been the number 1 defense in the USL Championship this year. We'll see if they keep Birmingham out of the back of the net here at Protective Stadium tonight. When we return to the Magic City, we'll get a look at each side's starting 11s for this one, plus the first 45 minutes in this East versus West showdown. Birmingham Legion, Sacramento Republic on the other side of this break.
This sandwich is not just spicy, it's flavorful.
Hi, this is Patayo.
And this is Elsa.
And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick. I really like the marinated chicken breast because the spice comes in at just the right moment.
Oh, no. A little thing I love is that cilantro lime sauce. It's a fun blend of zesty and bold. It's highlighting the flavors in the chicken. That's what really makes me happy. Are you going to eat all your fries?
Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Welcome back to Birmingham, Alabama. Almost time for kickoff. But first, Morgan, let's get a look at each side starting 11, starting with Neil Collins and Sacramento Republic.
Yeah, look, I want to highlight a couple players. Obviously, you've got Benitez, who has played all over the park for Sacramento. Spoke to Coach Collins earlier this week. He was talking about how he's just so good anywhere you put him because he has such a competitive drive.
Meanwhile, for Birmingham Legion on the other side of things, 3 at the back once again for Mark Briggs tonight.
Yeah, and you've got Patterson stepping into a starting role, which is great. But I like to see Trejo and Pasher kind of tucking inside, both playing dual number 10 roles. It'll be interesting to see how they integrate them and if they can get wide and start to create chances for Damas.
Referee tonight, Alyssa Nichols, the Mississippi native, the youngest African-American female and first woman ever out of Mississippi to earn a FIFA referee badge. She's the 8th USL Championship match this year for her. Of course, Neil Collins on one touchline, Mark Briggs on the other. And we are underway from Protective Stadium, Birmingham Legion and Sacramento Republic FC for the 4th time overall. These two teams have met once in each of the last 3 seasons. Birmingham Legion with the lone win so far. The series between these two teams, couple of draws the last couple of campaigns.
Yeah, none of the affairs so far have been high-scoring affairs. I think there's only been, 3 or 4 goals total in all the 3 matches that they've played. So it'll be interesting to see how this game transpires. But, Matt Van Oekel back between the sticks here against Sacramento tonight. But be interesting to see how this game goes, knowing that Legion FC have a game on Saturday, knowing that Sacramento have a lot of travel coming up. How do they rotate the squad? How do they make sure that they stay fresh for each of the games upcoming, as well as get 3 points tonight?
Second game in 5 days for each of these two teams, and each team has a game coming up on Saturday. Birmingham, at least they get to play back in this building again. For Sacramento, this is a cross-country trek from Northern California to the deep south and then to the northeast to take on Rhode Island coming up on the weekend. Early chance to get numbers forward here as Russell Cicerone dispossessed for a moment, won it back, but not without a foul committed.
He's going to be a guy that Legion FC are going to have to stay right on top of. When we spoke to Briggs earlier this week, he specifically talked about, they haven't been able to find a rhythm. But if you give players like Cicerone and Benitez and some of the other players that they have the opportunity to establish a rhythm and get into a rhythm in a game, they can pick you apart.
Van Oekel sends it away. Breezy night here. Something to keep an eye on with everything that's up in the air. 77 degrees here at kickoff. The rain and thunderstorms from earlier in the day have helped keep it cool. Jake Roof works with Fonwo Kavita and AJ Patterson. Patterson makes his first start of the season tonight after missing pretty much all of the opening part of the campaign with injury. Danny Trejo here, isolated on the right side, left side, pardon me, but Edwin Lotso's first touch lets him down. It's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I really like that sequence from Legion FC, from Patterson to Mensah. Mensah immediately gets it, dumps it into that corner. To get Trejo on 1v1 with the defender to take him on, I think if Legion FC can continue to find those pockets and isolate him, they'll be successful.
Danny Vitiello ready to send this deep, 29-year-old goalkeeper. Guy who picked up his 3rd clean sheet performance of the year last time out. And scoreless draw Sacramento played with San Antonio FC. A throw here in the attacking third for Sacramento Republic as Ryan Spalding is looking for a new ball. Instead, it looks like he'll leave it. Lee Desmond will go find one instead. Fan Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. The Academy to the Big League, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Desmond does get it in. Spalding taken off it by Spencer Turnbull, out for another Sacramento throw. Again, good positioning from Turnbull. Damas trying to turn, got hit hard, but no foul conceded there. There's a lot of contact between Damas and Jared Timmer, but Timmer ruled to be in clean position there. Cicerone plays it first time. Nick Ross Couldn't touch it around Lasso. Cicerone back on it. Trying to lead in Vonner. Instead, Matt Van Oekel off his line to collect it. Just 4 minutes gone by, just getting underway between Legion and Sacramento. These two teams would love to have. Sacramento lost in a draw their last 2 times out after a goal-scoring bonanza against Las Vegas. That's a pretty good ball that almost got on the end of for Russell Cicerone. Van Oekel off his line to come get it. Big chirp hop helped him out a little bit. Turnbull trying to play that first time, unsuccessful in that endeavor, but fortunate to have it fall back to his feet. Spalding on the turn, couldn't turn against Turnbull. Here's Tyler Pasher back in the 11 tonight for Birmingham after missing that trip to Kentucky. Kobe Hernandez Foster. Danny Trejo tucked inside. Moses Mensah providing a bit of width. Mensah's cross blocked. Good positioning from Jack Gurr. Birmingham Legion happy to get a couple of fresh faces back tonight. Mensah on one side, Tyler Pasher on the other. 2 guys they did not have against Lou City.
Yes, and then, freshness coming off from injury for Mensah. Nice to have him back, and then obviously Pasher returning from being away. So very nice
that
situation
falls
there.
kindly for Cicerone. Surely he was offside, and he was. The flag does come up. And a moment of danger provided by Cicerone, who evaded A.J. Patterson's slide tackle. But certainly well beyond the last defender. So you look at Mark Briggs, the 43-year-old, now in his first season here as the coach of Birmingham Legion FC. Of course, the longtime coach of Sacramento Republic. Up until the end of last season, Sacramento finished 5th in the West. They had the best goal differential in the Western Conference, but lost to Las Vegas in a PK shootout. On the other side of things, the new man in charge of Sacramento Republic FC, Neil Collins, the 41-year-old longtime pro, made that transition from player to manager at Tampa Bay, then across the pond at Barnsley, then Wraith Rovers in Scotland, and now new man in Sacramento Republic. And he wasn't thrilled with that handball call that has given Birmingham Legion free kick here, brought to you by Birmingham Freedliner. Danny Trejo, Kobe Hernandez Foster both looking over this. It'll be Trejo to throw it in front of goal, and a great play by Vitiello to deny that flick at the near post from Mensah.
Yeah, that's a brilliant save from Vitiello, and if you heard us talk about broadcaster, the duo, we always talk about how getting a save early on for a goalkeeper is so important. That little touch, but I want to pause it right here. Right as Mensah gets that touch, look, Vitiello, his feet, look here. His feet are set, and then he goes and he's able to lunge and make that save. So watch as this comes through. You'll see, boom, touch, and there you go. He's able to explode and make that save, which is a very difficult save to make, especially as deflection, but he does a great job with it.
Sacramento Republic escape after Birmingham creates a little bit of danger. Birmingham took that corner short. Nothing came of it in the end. So each side has had their moments here. 8 minutes gone by at Protective Stadium. Birmingham last time out, they were the team that struck first at Louisville City. Fortunate deflection from the shot of Edwin Lotso gave them an early lead. This a good ball delivered over the top again. Van Oekel has to come get it in front of Nick Ross.
And I'll say in that sequence, that buildup right there, Ukebu was able to easily just dribble past Danny Trejo, play that ball wide. He broke the line, broke the first defensive line there, was able to get it wide, and that ball was a dangerous one that went into to Vonner there. And fortunately for Legion FC and Matt Van Oekel is quick off his line, but again, it has to be more difficult to break lines than that.
Long ball delivered over the top. Trejo trying to get on the end of it and did. Now looking for a little bit of help. Found some in Turnbull. Turnbull's cross to the back post over the top of everybody. And out of play, a goal kick coming for Sacramento. And a chance for us To look at our keys to the match tonight, Morgan, let's start first with Sacramento Republic. How do they get a road result tonight?
Yeah, Sacramento, as they come in, they need to be patient in possession. They need to make sure they pick the right times to go and then transition defense. When they do give the ball away, they need to make sure they get back quickly. And for Legion FC, be a goldfish. Forget about Saturday. Take the lessons learned. Forget about it. But then if you can find and isolate the wingers and the spaces on the wings, I think you will have success against this back three for Sacramento.
Yellow sends it long. And it's out for a Sacramento throw. A long time to take this restart here as Desmond is taking his time before getting ball back in play. Now does so. Misplay right to the feet of Ronaldo Damas, and Birmingham Legion trying to break out the other side. Moses Mensah getting forward once again. Sacramento do well to get back organized. That has been their calling card so far this year. By goals allowed, the number 4 defense in the USL Championship coming into the week. The number 1 defense by XG allowed. Just fine playing against the ball. In fact, Neil Collins said he had very little complaints about Sacramento playing against the ball. He just wants them to be a little bit more careful in possession when they're trying to build and create things in the attack. So we'll see if they can do that tonight. Tyler Pasher, the interception right off the restart. Pasher still with it at his feet. Lasso might have a go here. He will, and didn't miss by much.
Reminiscent of what he did this weekend. That ball did go off of Damas, and Damas did get credit for the goal, but Lazo got all of that one. Again, I mean, he gets it out of his feet very well, strikes it. I mean, there's no spin on that. It's a great strike, just a little bit too high.
Not a bad effort at all from the Legion FC midfielder, the guy brought over from FC Tulsa about a month ago. Goal kick for Sacramento Republic, and it gives us a chance to check in with the third member of our crew for the first time tonight. That's Kennedy Baxter. What's going on, Kennedy?
Well, the rain is cleared here just in time in Birmingham for tonight's game, where Birmingham Legion FC will be taking on Coach Mark Briggs' former team Sacramento Republic FC. When asked how this will affect him and his team mentally, Coach Briggs has acknowledged that there will be emotional ties, but emphasized that as soon as the whistle blows, the only thing that matters is getting his team this win. With each team sitting 10th in their respective conference, we expect to see a fairly even matchup in tonight's game. Back to you, Morgan and Blake.
Thanks, Kennedy. A homecoming of sorts, perhaps, for Mark Briggs. Obviously, the game not in NorCal, but as he acknowledged, there's a lot of these guys that are playing a lot of minutes for this Sacramento team that are pieces that he personally signed, brought over, recruited into the Sacramento project. Not Dominic Donner, who got on the back of Moses Mensah there. Those two guys, a bit of a staring contest after the fact.
Yeah, and even the staff for Sacramento is still a lot of guys that Mark Briggs brought in. And, you know, what we've heard about Mark Briggs so far and what we've talked about with others is he's such a relationship guy. So obviously there's the emotional, there's the personal connection in this game. But at the end of the day, he did mention, you know, and it is something where once that whistle blows, anything that's going on in between the lines, you forget about the personal side of the emotional side of it. You want to go out and make sure you do everything you can to get the 3 points.
Another goal kick here for Sacramento Republic, and again, Vitiello opting not to play out of the back. We'll send everybody deep. Goalkeeper was a second-team All-USL selection a year ago after he had 14 clean sheets back in 2024. Trejo's header doesn't come off as intended.
Speaking of the number 14, I think it's been 14 matches since Legion FC have kept a clean sheet. So they'll certainly want to make sure they do everything they can to batten down the hatches and try and keep Sacramento at bay. But if history serves us right, you know, Legion FC will probably concede. One thing Mark Briggs said earlier this week was, you know, after Louisville, they conceded one and then immediately conceded a second. So if they do concede one, they need to mentally stay strong and sharp and make sure that they're still switched on and don't give up another silly goal or another goal immediately after a first.
for Birmingham. This is about experienced as their backline can get here tonight as Kavita ushers that off the corner flag and stayed in play. Kavita, no nonsense over the top. Bit more space out wide for Moses Mensah, who's making his 7th start of the year tonight after he missed the last couple of games. Came off injured 12 minutes into that Birmingham win at Miami FC. Of course, he was replaced by Dawson McCartney. He himself out tonight. As you look at the injury reports. Tyler Pasher, a header central part of the park. Timmer got to the second ball.
And Tyler Pasher does a great job of getting on the end of that. Not known for his aerial prowess, but you know, Damas and Trejo are so far disconnected from him that he couldn't make a pass. He headed it backwards to one of his teammates, but again, they weren't close enough.
Van Oekel again well off his line to take care of that ball over the top from Gurr. Almost to give away there in midfield. Good body positioning from Kobe Hernandez-Foster. Now Danny Trejo has a chance to run in between the lines with Mensah to his left. Damas making the run to his right. And Damas is going to be called for the foul. Jared Timmer just got in front of him.
You see Mensah and Lazo off screen are having some words with each other, trying to get that ball played quicker out wide to Mensah. But you can see Timmer goes down after the shove from Damas. It's funny, defenders always get so upset with forwards diving and taking liberties, whichever. And on the other side is when forwards get the opportunity to put a little pressure on a defender. It's the center back that goes down really easily. So it's just at the end of the day, people don't like it about soccer a lot of times, the feinting and the diving, but it gives your team an advantage. And if your team can gain an advantage from something, it's wise to learn how to do it in a savvy manner to where you have the opportunity to gain an advantage for your team.
Spalding there just clipped by that left foot of Turnbull. Free kick Sacramento. Shibu Kebu, the 18-year-old former Sacramento Republic Academy product, making his 4th start tonight. 2 veterans and a teenager in the back 3 for Sacramento tonight. Lee Desmond, Jared Timmer, and Ukebu. As Michel Benitez connects the passing between the back 3. Sacramento trying to build something here. A couple of warning shots fired a few minutes in. Since then, most of the tempo has belonged to the home side. Once again, looking over the top. A.J. Patterson deals with that ball, as does Roof. And a good touch from Turnbull to lead it in the direction of Tyler Pasher. Veteran winger on it here and chasing after this Sacramento Republic back line. Around one man. Out the other side for Trejo, who's got an overlap from Mensah. Trejo, edge of the area, couldn't get his foot around it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Trejo wants. He wants to get that ball isolated on a defender out wide and have the opportunity to cut inside and get the shot off. You'll see Mensah comes around him there, and then boom, immediately he attacks that left foot of the defender, and he's trying to wrap his right foot around that ball. He doesn't get it in this situation, but you see so many times with inverted wingers, that's exactly what they're looking to do.
Final Kavita, the offending party this time. Into the back of Russell Cicerone. Free kick Sacramento. Birmingham fans, to stay up to date on all the latest Legion FC news, be sure to follow at BHM Legion on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, and download the Legion FC app today. That's at BHM Legion on social media and the Legion FC app, your home for all things Birmingham Legion FC. $18 minutes gone between Birmingham Legion and Sacramento Republic so far tonight. Good look there from Jack Gurr, one of the best wingbacks in the USL Championship. Gave it away that time, though. Birmingham allowed back on the ball here. Kobe Hernandez-Foster, the dynamic 22-year-old midfielder. New partner over the last month, and Edwin Lotso, 26-year-old Colombian acquired from Tulsa back on May 16th. He's made 6 straight starts since coming over. Patterson's look over the top is picked by Okebu. Gurr almost caught in possession, was caught in possession by Lasso, and it's out for a Birmingham throw right in front of the Sacramento bench.
It's good work from Lazo to close him down very quickly and make it very difficult for Gurr to take a touch and pick his head up, right? You talk about, you hear your coaches all the time say, get touch tight, make him put his head down, because then he can't scan the field, he can't pick the next pass, he has to pre-scan the field before the ball comes to him, and if it comes to him on a deflection or a situation where he's not expecting it, he doesn't know what he's going to do with the ball, and so getting touch tight quickly is very important.
Asher looked for the run, Adamas thought better of it. Hernandez Foster couldn't quite find Trejo.
You know, right on cue, I was just thinking, Kobe Hernandez Foster hasn't gotten on the ball much so far tonight. It doesn't have a lot of completed passes, but you see that run there, Trejo, he and Trejo connect. Kobe Hernandez Foster just doesn't pick the pass just right. We know that's a pass he can get. He just needs to get into the game just a little bit more.
Once again, Daniel Vitiello will restart things. As he does, fans, the USL on ESPN2 showcases a Western Conference match between Lexington SC and last season's championship winner Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. Friday, June 20th, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Pacific time on ESPN2. Early start for our friends in the Pacific time zone, looking for what would be the 4th win of the year for Sacramento Republic. Birmingham Legion looking for their 3rd win in USL Championship play. Sacramento, as Kennedy said, 10th in the West, Birmingham 10th in the East. Both with crowded weeks here over the next 7, 8, 9 days or so. Plenty of opportunities to rack up some points. Birmingham especially, given the back-to-back home games they have here against Sacramento tonight and Oakland coming up on the weekend.
And interestingly enough, when we spoke to both coaches this week about tonight's game, I asked them how important it was, and both of them gave very similar answers of, hey, we're trying to find an identity, we need to establish a culture, we need to reestablish a winning mentality. So it's not a situation where, you know, this is a game of wins and losses, and obviously they want to win, but more importantly, they want the process to get right.
Trejo cuts it back. Thomas on the turn, couldn't quite find the target. Outstanding effort from Trejo to get goal side here against Ukebu.
Yeah, he did do a great job of all that work, but what I really would have loved right here is Thomas gets this ball, and it comes through. He could have laid this ball off. We'll try and pause it here in just a moment. Right there, he could have laid it back to Tyler Pasher, who had walked onto it to hit it. But he chose to try and spin and shoot himself, which, to be fair, all number 9s are pretty selfish. They like to score goals, so in each opportunity they get a chance, they're going to take it.
Especially a guy like Ronaldo Damas, who scored 14 times last year at Colorado Springs. He's already scored 6 times in the league this year for Birmingham, plus a couple of goals in the Jaeger Cup, and he's onside here with Timmer on his back. Damas trying to turn. Able to hold it up now, looking for a little support, and a foul is going to go against him for a high arm that caught a piece of the face of Timmer. Both Trejo and Damas pleading their case. It was a high arm, although I don't know if Damas knew anything about it.
Yeah, I don't know that it was an intentional. And I don't think it really impacted the play either. I'm not sure, you know, maybe
there.
Alyssa Nichols saw something a little different. Oh, okay, it was towards the end. It wasn't the first one. It was definitely the second one. So I think that's incidental contact, but, you know, the referee has a better look than we do up here.
Past the midway point of this opening 45, scoreless so far between Sacramento and Birmingham. Two teams hungry for points tonight. Two teams who have underplayed what their expected goal counts would say. Spencer Turnbull is fouled, and he goes to ground, holding his face on this side of the park. Like a high arm might have gotten him up around right side of the head as well.
Ooh, That was a little nastier than it looked in real time. It looks like he almost kind of shoved his arm, drew his elbow back towards his face, but still, there's no VAR in USL Championship, and Turnbull's up. He's fine. He's playing along in this game.
Smalling wins it back here for Sacramento and ran into a brick wall, and Kobe Hernandez-Foster, who starts the break the other way, in front of Damas, who's in on goal, and Damas is denied by Vinny. Can't. Patterson able to clear it away from the German forward. Also on the turn, a bit too heavy, his pass out the other side for Pasher, but a golden opportunity. Ronaldo Damas goes wanting. Danny Vitiello, time and time again, has made big saves in this league. He does so again there, denying one of the best goal scorers in the USL Championship.
Yeah, and that's a chance that Damas will certainly want back. He's not going to be thrilled with himself for not scoring there. He may be taking an extra touch, but credit to Sacramento Republic. Both the two defenders got back to put pressure on him, to make him feel that pressure. And a lot of times feeling that pressure makes enough of an impact. And Vitiello obviously steps up and makes a huge save, but golden opportunity for Legion FC.
Gersh got time and space. Picks out Vonner. Vonner's pass deflected by Edwin Lasso, and a good turn from Damas here. Around one man. Couldn't beat the second, though. Positioning perfect from Timmer once again.
Yeah, Timmer's done a good job handling Damas so far tonight. Alyssa Nichols is kind of letting him play a little bit. It could get a little rough, which is, not a bad thing, right? Players will adapt to that. They'll understand what the referee is doing or not doing. So as long as she's consistent, nobody's going to have any complaints.
Kebu gets it back here from Benitez. Ger not looking long this time. Instead goes all the way back safely to Vitiello. It's Ronaldo Damas, the lone man, applying a bit of pressure right now for Birmingham.
Yeah, and Briggs will be telling him, look, there's no need for you to chase by yourself. That's almost wasted energy to go alone when it's 1v3.
Ger lays it off. Vonner dispossessed, but Ger was fouled right in front of Mark Briggs by Moses Mensah. The referee brings play back and shows a yellow card to Mensah, brought to you by Rubio Law Firm, the first of the night.
I didn't see it, but maybe we'll get a chance to see it on the replay here as it comes back. The ball goes in. Plays that ball. Oh, yeah, he just reaches over and he kind of just checks him right there. Alyssa Nichols did a good job. Mensah had no intent to play the ball and kind of almost leaned in and left the shoulder for Ger to run into. And
I don't know, a check like that in the Stanley Cup Finals game I was watching last night, it's pretty good, but maybe not in this game tonight.
A little bit different sport, both free-flowing, lots of similarities. There's no lines to say you can dump it in his own, but we talked about Legion FC getting forward and isolating wingbacks, maybe dumping the ball into those zones to get Pasher or Trejo on it.
Set piece opportunity here for Sacramento, their real first one of the night. Mexican midfielder Michel Benitez. A long look at this one as he waits to provide in-swinging service. Benitez to the back post, and bodies collide right as this ball was coming in. And we'll see what the decision is here. It looks like it's going to be retaken. Whistle blew, and I think most players in and around the penalty area thought that was going to be a foul against Sacramento Republic. Instead, it's going to be a retake. Perhaps some contact before that ball was played by Benitez.
Yeah, you can see Briggs' face. He has a little bit of disbelief. Like, are we really calling this back?
So Benitez, a second time around, has it blocked by Trejo and cleared away. The one-man wall does its job. Another long ball in the direction of Vonner, who's able to shield it away from A.J. Patterson. Patterson got the defining touch, but not before a foul. It's a free kick for Birmingham Legion. Dominic Vonner's going to get his second stern talking to tonight. He's had beef with Moses Mensah and A.J. Patterson. I think Alyssa Nichols is saying he's running out of leash here tonight.
Yeah, he's certainly I don't think he took exception to maybe the hand on the back from A.J. Patterson, but A.J. Patterson's a big boy. He's not going to back down from anything, and I think Vonner is also a big lad himself, and he's not going to back away from A.J. Patterson either. So it should be interesting to watch that for the rest of the night.
Matt Van Oekel sends it deep. Gurr will let it hop out of play. Birmingham fans, if you're looking to grab some of this season's Legion FC merch to wear to the next home match at Protective Stadium, you can check out all the new gear now at bhmlegion.shop. That's bhmlegion.shop to make sure you're outfitted and ready for the next home match at Protective Stadium, which is just a few days away.
So interesting stat. We talked about Sacramento having a positive goal difference. 4 of their goals have been from penalties in their 11 games so far. And then they also scored, I believe, either 4 or 5 against Las Vegas in the league. So, really almost, they scored 5 against Vegas, 4 penalties. So they've only got 2 goals outside of those so far this year that they've been able to put in the back of the net.
Sacramento's gone scoreless their last 2 times out, a 1-0 defeat against FC Tulsa, and then that scoreless draw against San Antonio as Damas is going to be called for the foul. Birmingham Legion, meanwhile, found the back of the net twice against Louisville City last time out, but gave up 4. As you get another look at the contact here. This time it's Damas into the back of the 18-year-old, Chibi Ukebu.
And I think if he's not jumping in the air, I think Okebo can handle that contact from Damas, but Damas caught him at the right time. And I need to go back and I do need to correct myself. I said that Sacramento had scored 9 goals and they against Vegas and on penalties, but they have a total of 15 on the year so far, so 6 other goals.
15 scored, 11 conceded for Sacramento so far this year. 14 points through their first 11 contests here in 2025. Plus the performances in the Jaeger Cup. A foul there against Tyler Pasher. Free kick Sacramento. Pasher not a huge fan of that whistle. Another set piece opportunity here for Sacramento, just on the edge of the touchline.
There have been a lot of fouls so far in this game, and neither team has taken advantage of them, but all the fouls are occurring so far away from the goal that it's not in a dangerous enough position. You can take those risks, but it hasn't been a game that's created a lot of chances. When you pull up the statistics and look at touches and total passes, it's Timmer, Desmond, and Okebu who are at the top for Sacramento, and then Kavita, Patterson, and Turnbull, and Roof. So you've got all defenders who are at the top in terms of touches and in passes so far tonight.
Mensah got ahead of that ball. Turnbull the defining clearance all the way back to Timmer around the midway strike. Sacramento will take a moment, regain their shape. The dozen minutes left here in this opening 45. Both teams looking for the opening salvo. A couple of opportunities for either side. The defining play so far, a big save from Danny Vitiello with Ronaldo Damas in on goal. He's made a couple of important stops tonight after he denied Moses Mensah's flick at the near post early on tonight. Meanwhile, not a whole lot has troubled Matt Van Oekel, the 38-year-old goalkeeper. Makes his 12th start of the year tonight.
And so the Legion FC have created the better of the chances, certainly, but they haven't put them in the back of the net yet. When we spoke to Coach Briggs this week, he talked about how he was really happy with the first 29 minutes against Louisville. They went up 1-0, but they had a chance to make it 2. Enzo Martinez didn't connect on a ball that was squared off to him, only 6-8 yards away from goal, and you put that away in at 2-2.
Oh, that's dangerous for Moses Mensah. Foul and a free kick conceded. Jack Gurr immediately comes over to the referee and is asking for a second yellow card. Decision to make here for Alyssa Nichols. Mensah left his feet to stop the promising attack. It looks like Moses Mensah is going to get away without being shown a second yellow.
I think he's very lucky to stay on the field. You know, that certainly could be a second yellow. If he didn't already have one, I think he would be getting one for this. But I actually like this refereeing from Alyssa Nichols here. It's early in the game, only 35th minute. You don't. The goal of a referee, you always hear them talk about, I don't want to make a decision that impacts the game in a negative way, or make a big decision that could be prevented or could ruin a game, if you will. And so I think that's good refereeing. I certainly think that, you know, Neil Collins over on the sidelines barking at the fourth official right now, it has a case. I think that easily could have been a second yellow for Mensah, but, you know, Alyssa Nichols chooses to have a very long talk with him and allow him to stay on the field.
Set piece opportunity here for Sacramento. Delivered on goal. Van Oekel punches it right back where it came from. Throw coming here for Sacramento Republic from nearly the same spot.
Yeah, and that's the left foot of Benitez, who's, you know, been great so far this year for Sacramento.
Vonner's touch a little too heavy. Kavita clears it away from danger. Everybody resets.
You know, I really wouldn't be surprised if we see Eric Centeno come on at halftime and maybe Turnbull switches over to that left side or Centeno plays on that left side. I don't think you can leave, if you're Mark Briggs and Legion FC, I don't think you can leave Mensah on the field knowing that he's, I mean, on as thin a ice as you could possibly be right now for the next 10 minutes.
Another good run from Vonner. Cicerone picks it up. Cicerone, top of the area. One more finds Spalding. Spalding shot blocked by Turnbull. Headed back near the penalty spots. And finally cleared away from danger. Kobe Hernandez-Foster got a touch in there. Ukebu in front of Damas. Damas went to the ground, didn't get the whistle he was looking for.
Yeah, in that sequence right there, that Sacramento had that ball, guess who pulled out of a tackle? Moses Mensah. He knew he couldn't go in. He knew if he was even a hair late that he'd be sent off. And so that certainly impacts the mentality of a player when you're on a card and you've had a stern talking to.
Gurr, a dangerous ball. Nobody could get on the end of it. Turnbull, no nonsense, sends it over the end line and out for a Sacramento corner.
Yeah, and that's a mistake from Turnbull. You know, you kind of see some body language for some players and see him kind of hanging his head just a little bit. He knows that he just gave up a corner when maybe he didn't have to. You know, maybe he thought he had a little bit more pressure than he did. But again, this is a chance for Gurr to go over and whip a ball in for Sacramento to go up and try and head one home and take a late lead here in the first half.
One of the best wingbacks in the USL Championship over the past couple of seasons. A two-time first-team All-USL pick. He set up 8 goals a year ago. He is dangerous in these types of situations. A driven serve, flicked goalward. Top of the box, Benitez couldn't let it go, and Roof took it off him. Big time defending from Jake Roof. Clears it away all the way back to Vitiello.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get more of an angle on that ball to release Pasher, and I think it's the right idea for Roof. You're breaking away. You don't have numbers. Roof knows he's not going to beat somebody from pace, but he knows Tyler Pasher will. So if you can get that ball to him in open space and he cuts that angle a little bit harder, Tyler Pasher's going to have a great opportunity to go 1v1 and get the goal.
Sacramento Republic knocking on the door here over the last few minutes. The Birmingham Legion had the best chances first part of this first half. Visitors have started asking some questions, especially along that right flank. Moses Mensah is already on a yellow. Jack Gurr's gotten forward. Dominic Vonner has caused some problems, and right on cue, Vitiello going back that direction. Good touch from Kobe Hernandez-Foster. Trejo. Now for the Alabama native, Jake Roof. Birmingham trying to build something here after having had absorbed some pressure over the last few minutes. All the way back it goes, Matt Van Oekel. Cicerone providing a little bit of pressure in that regard. Kebu, a not convincing header. Danny Trejo will chase that down. He's got a little bit of support here from Lotso and Mensah.
Yeah, and he wants to be 1v1, and obviously Sacramento knows they can't leave a player like Danny Trejo, who spent a little bit of time in Phoenix, so they'll be familiar with, no, you can't leave him 1v1 with a defender. So help comes over from Gurr with Okebu and force Trejo to really make that pass.
Fanuel Kavita. Back to this left side, Moses Mensah. He's passing a lane to Trejo, cut off by Gurr. Mensah trying to turn, does so, but only back to his goalkeeper, Matt Van Oekel. Trejo trying to bend his run back on, couldn't, he's offside. Be a restart here for Sacramento Republic. And Moses Mensah, Birmingham defender, has gone down and he's clutching at his left leg. Again, Birmingham Legion just got Mensah back after he missed a couple of matches. He has been involved in some nervy moments here in this opening half, and right now it appears he might not be operating at 100%.
Yeah, I almost wonder if he knows he's probably going to get subbed off at halftime. He hasn't had a great appearance so far today. I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I hope the young man is okay, but he's probably sees the writing on the wall. But Legion FC don't have anybody warming up. Nobody's moving their legs, getting prepared to come on. So I think, as I say that, two guys, it looks like Centeno and Tregarthen are the two guys that have gotten up to go get moving for Legion FC as the trainer runs out to check on Mensah. But about 5 or 6 minutes left in total in this first half. So far, I think that really the only chance that Sacramento has had have come from Benitez on that set piece. Birmingham have certainly had 2 great opportunities, and then another half chance where Damas tried to turn and put the ball on target when he could have laid it off. So an interesting match so far. There hasn't been a lot of chances. Blake, I know you're the XG fiend here. What's our XG so far?
0.71 or 0.71 to 0.07. Sacramento Republic just 1 shot so far. Through 42 minutes as we get play restarted, Moses Mensah waved back on. So Birmingham back to full strength.
Yeah, so plenty of chances for those chances that we talked about for Birmingham have generated that sort of XG, and still no goal, which is something that Briggs talked about. They have to be ruthless in front of goal. They have to finish their chances, and they haven't done that yet.
Fan soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats. Bonner working against Mensah. Was in a good position that time. Throw coming for Sacramento. Jack Gurr right in front to the coach that brought him to Northern California. After Gurr had spent 2 seasons with Atlanta United 2 and then across the pond in Scotland with Aberdeen. Mensah able to turn. He and Trejo trying to break out of this deep corner as Mensah sends it long but mishit it. Another throw coming here for Sacramento. Sacramento register another goal scoring opportunity here. Again, just the 1 shot so far in this first half. Cicerone could hold up play from him. Gurr went down too easily, said the referee. Trejo and Kobe Hernandez-Foster on the break now. Hernandez-Foster couldn't get around Timmer.
And Timmer's been a brick wall back there so far. He's done a great job of reading the play. He knows that Trejo probably is going to try and square that ball because Damas has gone down the left, and he does a fantastic job of reading Trejo's body language to see when he's going to try and square that ball onto Kobe Hernandez Foster, because he's right in front of him, and he does a fantastic job stepping in and winning the ball for his team.
Kerr picks up his head. Cicerone making the run again. Kavita had it covered. Ushers it out of play.
And Cicerone's not going to get around Kavita there.
So goal kick for Matt Van Okel and the Legion. Fans Legion FC remain home at Protective Stadium this Saturday, June 21st. As they host Oakland Roots SC. Get your tickets to that match today, bhmlegion.com/tickets. Kicks off at 7 o'clock Central and can be seen right here on My 68 in Birmingham or on ESPN+. Follow along at BHM Legion on X for live match updates. It's Birmingham Legion and Oakland Roots coming up this weekend, Saturday at 7 o'clock Central Time. It is confirmed down below. 1 minute of stoppage time to close this first half, brought to you by UAB Medicine. And Dominic Bonner is running at this Birmingham backline again. Good recovery from Kobe Hernandez Foster to get back in front.
That's another more physical play that Alyssa Nichols has kind of let go. She's not buying into all the diving and everything. She's allowing the guys to kind of get in and be physical with each other, which I don't mind. I kind of like to see it. I think it allows the game to take on a new form. It's not so tight. You're not so worried about just touching an opponent in a sense. So, and the players really haven't complained much about it. They're adapting well, I think, and it's been an enjoyable game from a physicality standpoint so far, but not so enjoyable from the lack of chances and goals.
Not a ton of scoring opportunities either direction in this first half, with just a few seconds left in it. Doesn't look like that is going to change here. Big Willie, nowhere to turn. Back to Ukebu. Kerr with a bit of space. We're closing it down by Lotso, and that does bring the first half to a close. Scoreless so far tonight between Birmingham Legion and Sacramento Republic. Nervy moments for Moses Mensah. Perhaps should have been sent off. Birmingham fortunate to stay 11v11. Collins certainly wasn't thrilled with that, but we go scoreless into the dressing room. Kennedy Baxter is with Mark Briggs down below.
I'm here with Coach Mark Briggs following the end of the first half. Coach, we're going in 0-0, but your team has had countless offensive opportunities. What have you seen that you liked, and what do you hope to see going into the second half?
Yeah, I think the structure of our team defensively has allowed us a platform to go and attack. We've created a one-on-one opportunity, created some other opportunities. Just got to be a little more ruthless in the final third, but pleased with how the game's going right now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Kennedy. Mark Briggs, scoreless so far, 0-0 against his former club. Coming up here at halftime, sat down with Thiago Suarez, the young defender, to get his thoughts on his first season here in Birmingham. Plus, that's the first half highlights, a look around the league, and more as we kick off Week 16 of the USL Championship tonight. 0-0 between Birmingham Legion and Sacramento Republic so far at Protective Stadium.
It's time to hammer down. Single game tickets on sale now. Get your tickets today.
That spice is 10 out of 10. Would recommend.
Hi, my name is Khadijah, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Grilled Spicy Deluxe Sandwich is that spicy kick of the chicken. It's just the right amount of heat. It gets me excited and definitely wanting more. And then, pro tip, add that cilantro lime sauce. I couldn't get enough of that sauce. It cools it down. If the sandwich is at 100, the cilantro lime takes it to 200. It makes me want to, tell all my friends and family.
Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Welcome back to our coverage of Birmingham Legion FC here with Thiago Suarez. Thiago, appreciate you taking a little bit of time, and congrats on stepping into a bigger role here over the last few weeks. What's that been like?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I've played some USL minutes before at different clubs, so stepping into Birmingham Legion was nothing different, and it's been nice. It's been good.
You're a guy that came up through Sacramento Republic's Academy. When Mark Briggs was there, you guys have a relationship that goes way back. What's it like being reunited with him?
Yeah, I was really excited when he was announced. But he brings a similar philosophy that I was brought up in, playing soccer from a really young age. So it's been, like you were saying, seamless transition for me.
And you from Sacramento, then you went to New England Revolution there for a few years, both with the big club and the MLS Next Pro group. What was that transition like from Northern California going all the way to the East Coast?
Yeah, it was the furthest team I could go to in the States.
Yeah.
But it was honestly a great experience. I've loved my time at the Rev so far, but this was the best decision for my career at the moment, and like you've seen, I've taken it. So,
yeah, no doubt. You've stepped in, played a bunch of 90-minute performances here, especially over the last few weeks. What's it been like getting to know this group and some of the leaders on this group, especially the veterans like Jake Roof and Funwell Kavita?
Yeah, it's been really nice to play next to these guys. I learn from them every single day, and they're always in my ear teaching me things, and I've seen myself continue to improve and develop there.
What do you feel like the strengths of your game are as it stands right now, and what are some things that you hope to work on here over this summer?
Yeah, definitely just my size, just my natural ability to win aerial balls and track space and behind. But just some things I need to work on is my leadership. Just like you were saying, these older guys, they kind of command the team, but that's definitely something I can step into soon.
You've been in Birmingham here a few months now. Have you found some places to hang out, spots you like?
Yeah, so I live just about like 10 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
My mom actually bought me, thank you, Mom, bought me a summer pass to the Top Golf right up there.
Let's
so
go.
Been learning how to play some golf. So yeah, that's where I've been.
How's the
spending
swing
time.
looking?
It's rough. It's rough. But I mean, I'm about like 2 weeks, probably like 14, 15 days of swing. So I've seen a lot of improvement there too.
There we go. Okay, so we've seen some improvement. We've got some more room for growth.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else on the team that has like a really good golf swing right now?
Oh yeah, I mean AJ is really good. There's a bunch of guys. Honestly, we have a lot of golfers on the team. A lot of coffee club guys.
Okay.
There's a lot of different groups.
Are you a part of the coffee club too?
Yeah. We were actually supposed to go today, but some of the guys, not going to name names, canceled on us. So it's going to be tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah.
Listen, that's good leadership there. You didn't throw anybody under the bus. You just said that there were some guys in the group who caused that to not happen.
Yeah.
Well, listen, hopefully the coffee club gets back together, and hopefully you see playing more 90-minute performances here this summer. Thiago, appreciate the time. Best of luck this year, man.
Thank you.
More from our coverage of Birmingham Legion right after this.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a load off and take a load for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it.
Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
How does Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water keep you in the game? We always source our water directly from the natural spring to fuel every body, no matter how you like to move it. So whether you're chasing your goals or just staying active this summer, make sure to stay hydrated with Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Always bottled at the natural spring source.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way.
Focus!
Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power.
Whatever it takes.
Trusted for over 100 years. Tiger Balm's proven herbal blend tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger so that you can rise above pain.
Let's make a Karate Kid.
And get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
And the dominant first, it's Dreamland in Lexington, knocked in, his first goal for Colorado Springs.
This week on USL All Access, the table tells us which team on the field has been the best due to points, right? What about coaches? we take a statistical deep dive to see which manager has influenced their team and the games the most within 90 minutes of play. Joe Hafferty, defender from Lexington SC, joins us to talk his unique journey developmentally and how Lexington could be on the rise in the Western Conference.
Welcome back to our coverage of the USL Championship live from Birmingham, Alabama. And after all the rain and showers we had earlier today, it has turned into a gorgeous night for soccer. So far scoreless between Birmingham Legion and Sacramento Republic in this East versus West showdown tonight that helps kick off Week 16 of the USL Championship. One of only 2 games here today, which the other one, by the way, a stunning result. Miami just moments away from picking up all 3 points against Charleston Battery, who have been one of the best teams in the league so far, one of the other best teams in the league. Louisville City FC is live on CBS Sports Colossal Network coming up Friday night, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, as they take on North Carolina FC. And meanwhile, Oregon, as we talked about earlier in the show, Sacramento Republic, no rest for the weary. They go all the way to Rhode Island for a Saturday night showdown over on ESPN+.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles to travel. I mean, pretty indicative of teams out west now. You think about all the colleges that now have to travel to play across the country, so they're getting a little bit of taste of that as well.
Of course, we already talked about the Western Conference showdown between Colorado Springs and Lexington coming up Friday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central on ESPN2. Well, of course, we saw Louisville City firsthand last week. They took out Birmingham Legion 4-2, and they're now unbeaten in their last 19 regular season games dating back to last year. Other big news around the USL Championship, Atletico Dallas will call the Cotton Bowl home in 2027. There's nothing like Fair Park, Texas, and that will be a fun unveiling for Atletico Dallas when they kick off things here in a couple of years there in North Texas. Here at halftime between Birmingham Legion and Sacramento Republic, Morgan, Sacramento has had a bulk of the ball. Birmingham had the more dangerous chances early, but Sacramento was knocking on the door late.
They were, and you could kind of see some hesitancy from Mensah specifically. He's been involved in a couple of very tough tackles, nearly got sent off. Coach Collins argued, he could have been sent off, but, that kind of changed a little bit of the game. Sacramento grew into themselves, got a little bit of rhythm late on, but Birmingham have had the better chances.
We'll see what changes in the second 45 minutes, which come your way in just a little bit. Gorgeous night for soccer here at Protective Stadium. We'll see who breaks the score.
We are Altec, Birmingham-based since 1929. We set the gold standard in equipment and services that connect us to the power and communications we all need. From bucket trucks to digger derricks, the equipment we make helps our customers and our communities dig deeper and reach higher. We're a team. We're a family. We're looking for someone just like you. Hammer down and team up with Altec. Learn more at jobs.altec.com.
Welcome back to Birmingham, Alabama. Gorgeous nights for soccer. Birmingham Legion, Sacramento Republic. 45 minutes in the books, 45 minutes to play. But first, Morgan, let's get a look at some highlights from the first half. And it's been a physical one to this point.
It really has. But, you know, Alyssa Nichols has done a good job of allowing some of this stuff to go. She's calling some of it. You know, obviously there's been a little bit of extras, little extracurriculars, players jawing at each other. But she's been consistent, which is the most important thing.
Moses Mensah just narrowly avoiding getting sent off there on that play. He is on a yellow card caution as we start this second half. Birmingham Legion had a few chances early on to try to break the deadlock, including this one here.
Yeah, this is a great ball in. Mensah gets a touch. Vitiello does a fantastic job of getting his feet set and makes a big save. You hear Lazo just walks in, strikes the ball as cleanly as you can, just misses the top corner by just a hair. And then in the 25th minute, the biggest chance of the match so far, Legion FC do a great job of winning the ball there. Now, look at this. Look at all the space here when Sacramento loses the ball. Kobe Hernandez-Foster is going to take a touch and then play this ball into Damas. Let's watch what happens here. Takes a touch, plays it in. Damas gets a good first touch, but credit to Timmer and to Vitiello for putting pressure on Damas. Vitiello coming out, closing the angles, making it hard for him. Timmer closing down Damas, making it difficult for him. Vitiello comes with a big save, 0-0, but a big chance for Legion FC.
Second half about to start here in a matter of moments. Birmingham Legion FC, Sacramento Republic, who breaks the deadlock first? We'll find out soon enough as Alyssa Nichols gives us the whistle that gets this second 45 underway. And as expected, Birmingham Legion do make a change there at halftime. Moses Mensah off, and the rookie Sebastian Tregarthen is on. The 24-year-old, a two-time NAIA All-American, the USL League Two Team of the Year honoree at Asheville City, is coming off the bench for the 8th time this year. As Hernandez-Foster looks long over the top, Pasher almost got there in front of Vitiello, who had to come well off his line. Tregarthen wastes no time getting it back in play. Back to the feet of Kobe Hernandez-Foster. Damas, top of the box, leaves it. Turnbull couldn't quite wrap his foot around it.
Yeah, I like this sub from Briggs. Tregarthen is a guy, if you get him into space, he's another one that is very, very shifty, fantastic on the ball, dribbling at his feet. I think he's really going to see the opportunities that are in front of him to go at the attackers and the defenders from Sacramento. Particularly Spalding is going to have his hands full with him today.
Thomas got a touch there, but only to lead Desmond. Irish defender ushers it all the way back to Vitiello. Sent it long a second time. Spalding up to get that ball over the top. Lotso collides with him, but got the ball first, or did he? Now the whistle blows, free kick given.
Yeah, that's a miscommunication from Jake Roof and Tregarthen there. Neither one of them ended up going up for the header, which one of them needs to go. Not sure if Roof called Tregarthen off last minute, but again, you know, Spalding does a good job, steps into this, gets the first touch, and then runs into Lazo, who's built a bit like a brick house. He's going to be hard to run through.
So a free kick conceded here, and options for Jack Gurr in Sacramento. A collection of bodies right on the edge of the 18. Can Sacramento Republic did not register a shot on target in that first half, just 2 shots total. Gurr to the back post and over the top of everybody. So a goal kick here for Birmingham Legion and Matt Van Oekel. He'll send everybody deep. Fans, you can watch the USL Championship in Spanish on To The End, the nation's leading Spanish-language sports network. Detroit City FC face off against Miami FC on June 21st at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Central. Go to uslchampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. So Spencer Turnbull now on that left side. Couldn't quite get in the end of that pass from Lotso. Gurr all the way to the midway stripes to Cerrone. Turnbull got himself back on side and kept that in play. Can he pick out someone? Leaves it for Trejo, edge of the area.
You've got two guys now who are inverted. They're both right-footed players who want to cut back inside now. That's going to be their tendency. So, interesting dynamic. Turnbull, who when he plays on the right side, would probably push that ball to the end line and whip it across, but instead, now playing on his non-dominant foot, decides to cut it back and circle it back around and recycle it.
Birmingham do indeed recycle possession here through their center backs. Roof, Trey Garthen getting his first touches since coming on. Dispossessed. Does it trigger something back the other direction for Sacramento Republic? Ross looking out wide for Dominic Vonner. Flag stays down. A.J. Patterson out to greet him. Vonner couldn't quite get around Turnbull and Patterson. So good defensive work from Birmingham Legion as they try to build from the back once again. Kennedy Baxter, third member of our crew down below. She had a chance to catch up with Neil Collins there right before the start of the second half. Kennedy, what did Coach Collins have to say after the first 45 minutes?
Thanks, guys. Yes, I got an opportunity to talk to Coach Collins coming out of halftime, and he said that the team has been a pretty tough team on the road, and he's really happy with the clean sheet. But what he's also really hoping to see is some more offensive attack from his team.
Kind of what we talked about there at halftime. Just the two shots, nothing on target for Sacramento, even though they were knocking on the door late. There's not a whole lot in the way of chance creation for either team, really, in the last 15 minutes of that first half.
Yeah, no, it was pretty barren from that stat perspective. But listen, these teams both have plenty of firepower that can score at will, and at any moment, at the drop of a hat, I mean, you make a mistake, you give away possession in a bad spot, and these teams can't hurt you. They've got the players that can do it.
Trey Garthen called for the foul. That bump in the back there as Spalding rose up to try to get that ball in the air. Ryan Spalding has been a presence so far tonight. Man who spent 3 seasons with New England Revolution, plus spent time on loan to Tampa Bay Rowdies the past couple of years.
Yeah, and there hasn't been a lot of action down this side of the field for either team. A little bit more for Sacramento on their left side, but Legion FC had over half of their attack in the first half go down their left side. So if you're wondering where Tyler Pasher is in this game, or you're wondering where Gurr and Vonner have been, right, the ball's been on the other side when Legion FC have had it. So there hasn't been a lot of opportunities for them to really get into a rhythm and get into this game. So look to see if that changes in the second half.
For the top of Willie. Trey Garthen clears it away into the first row.
Yeah, that's very dangerous from Matt Van Oekel. That's twice Legion FC have given away possession already in this first half that have led to attacks from Sacramento. Neither have resulted in a shot on goal, but there's certainly been room or reason to worry a little bit.
Again, Trey Garthen, the intervention at the row coming for Sacramento Republic right in front of their own bench. No changes yet for Neil Collins. Started a veteran group tonight, mixed in a couple of teenagers, and Shibu Kebu, Blake Willie from Sacramento Republic Academy graduates. 7th start of the year for Willie, by the way, who just got back from United States U18 camp in Switzerland. He made a couple of starts for the U.S. U18s, group that went 4-0 in their time in Europe. Cicerone collects.
Too much space. Way too much space for him.
Ross out wide. Gurr arriving. Gurr trying to pick out a pass. Roof got ahead to it. Asher plays it back in the direction of his own box. Roof only cleared it as far away as Benitez. More possession here for Sacramento as they try to build into a goal-scoring chance. Spalding on the turn. Was he clipped? Yes, he was. Another Sacramento set piece forthcoming. Garthen can't believe it, but there was contact there. And again, Ryan Spalding causing problems. he gingerly walks off that latest foul. Again, another opportunity for Jack Gurr to try to whip something dangerous in.
This will be an in-swinging ball. I would expect this to be whipped in, not driven like some of the services we've seen so far from Sacramento. Just like that.
Patterson, the first man with a head to it. Damas shielding it away from Spalding, trying to turn the corner and couldn't keep it in play. So a throw coming here for Sacramento Republic. 9 minutes into our second 45. Encouraging start here for the visitors on the road. On the home side have held them without much way of scoring opportunities. Lots of defensive intervention there and an excellent touch from Trejo. He couldn't keep it. Out the other side, Spalding with options in front of him. Cicerone, one of them. He cuts it back, but nobody was there in a red shirt.
Good composure from AJ Patterson, but what is Kobe Hernandez-Foster doing with this ball? He just clears it away. There's nobody making a move for that. Again, it's like we made a hockey analogy earlier. It's like you just iced the puck. Now it's coming straight back at you. You know, you had plenty of time. Got to keep your composure. Have to keep your wits about you in difficult situations. You know, Legion FC have been under it for the past 5 or 6 minutes now.
All over the top to Willie. Played on a hop by Matt Van Oekel.
And I'll circle that back. I pointed it out earlier. Trey Garthen gave the ball away unexpectedly, and then that kind of started the first attack for Sacramento, and then not long after that, Matt Van Oekel made a poor pass, started another attack for Sacramento, and Legion FC have not really gotten going in this second half to create a chance for themselves.
Might have an opportunity here, though. Trejo almost got on the wrong shoulder of Ukebu, who did just enough to keep it away from him.
Yeah, Ukebu was probably sweating just a little bit there because Trejo was breathing down his neck and got on the right side of him, and he just works his way back into it to make the play and retain or stall the attack for Legion FC. Excuse me.
Garthen got sniped. Out the other side comes Sacramento. Cicerone holding it up, allowing some other red shirts to join the attacking half. One of them Ross, the other one Benitez. Lots of possession here for Sacramento to start this second stanza. And they pay it off into something. Kebu keeps it moving to Timmer. Former Butler Bulldogs had a solid night tonight, anchoring this back three. Willie's pass doesn't come off as intended, but Trejo beaten to it by Gurr. Composure from Patterson, excellent touch from Lasso. But Benitez wins it off him, but only for a moment before the foul was given. I think Benitez is going to be given a stern warning here from our referee for that last kick away. Point of emphasis for referees this year in terms of time wasting when you kick it away after the whistle's blown.
Yeah, whistle goes, and then, yeah, he was way late on that. But she's done a good job of keeping her cards in her pocket tonight. She's been consistent with that. So I'll give her credit to her consistency so far.
And as Foster top of the box. Pass cut out once again by who else but Jared Timmer. Willie holds it up. Possession back to Sacramento Republic. We've had almost 60% of the ball so far tonight.
Similar to what they had in the first half, I think. It was relatively close to that, but again, you know, they're not turning that possession into quality chances for them. And, you know, Coach Collins spoke about how they need to be more patient in attack. They have to create better chances for themselves, not just try to create chances. And so, you know, see how they're able to make that happen the rest of this second half as Tregarthen gets called again for another foul. He's not had a great start to this game, so he's going to have to, mentally as a rookie, he's going to have to figure out how he's going to grow into this game. He's playing in a position that he's not typically used to, right? In all reality, he's almost part of a back five in defense and part of a midfield four, that allows him to have the freedom to go forward because he has cover, but he has a job, he has a responsibility in Spalding to make sure that he can stay goal side of him when they are not in possession. So a little bit different dynamic. You see, left wing back, or right winger, you think they're so similar sometimes, but there are subtle nuances that.
Not a bad idea there from Tyler Pasher, an excellent touch, but Damas was in an offside position.
Nuances that can change your mentality, and just a little unfamiliarity, especially with a rookie who's coming into a league that he's still trying to grow into and understand. So he's going to have to adapt very, very quickly. It's a bad giveaway from Ukebu there.
Also the intervention there just for a moment. Sacramento trying to attack the space he vacated. Cicerone not allowed to turn by Cavita. Willie out wide, Spalding. Now Tregarthen on cue. Some defending to do here against Spalding. Couldn't get the cross away there. Now hounded near that flag, and it is out for a goal kick.
That's much better. That'll allow him to get a little bit of confidence, right? You're in a little bit more of an unfamiliar position, having to defend, and that be one of your primary responsibilities as a right wing back. And so does a good job, doesn't give anything up, doesn't dive in, right? In the moment Spalding turns his back towards goal, Tregarthen is right up behind him. He's got help from his teammates coming, and they earn the goal kick.
Matt Van Oekel ready to send it away as we played an hour with a half hour still to go in the Magic City tonight. Both sides looking for the game's opening goal. Again, Cicerone working with Spalding. Willie making the run forward. Spalding opted not to use that. Bonner lays it off. Ross. Kerr holds it up, and once again Sacramento possessing here in the attacking third. Sacramento find their way through. Timmer advancing ever so slightly from his central defense role. So far, Sacramento Republic has not been able to pick out that final pass. Has opened things up, and Tyler Pasher takes it straight off of Lee Desmond. Pasher trying to play the big diagonal in the direction of Trejo, was a bit behind him. Rushers it out for a throw.
Yeah, you can see Pasher came into that tackle right there to win that ball with a little bit of conviction, and you can tell he's getting frustrated. You can see it in his body language. He wants to be on the ball more, and he hasn't had a lot of touches. He's really not been able to get going in this game. He's only got 19 touches so far, only made 14 passes. Not what you would really want from him in a match like this, whereas a guy like Benitez has had 47 touches and made 43 passes.
Headed all the way back, Matt Van Oekel. Calm, easy collection in the end. Fans, we can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC and the new Sirius XM app.
You know what? I want to point something out for the youngsters that are watching this match at home. I just mentioned, the number of touches versus passes that Benitez has made, 47, 43, but even some of the others. Timmer, 57 touches, 53 passes. Gurr, 56 touches, 36 passes. Ukebu, 51 touches, 45 passes. What that tells me, what you should read from that is almost every pass that they're making, or every time they're getting the ball, they're taking one, maybe two touches. They are not spending a lot of time on the ball. They're getting it and they're giving it. They're making it move. So those of you listening at home, again, the number of passes to touches that they're taking is very, very close to 1-to-1.
Both sides looking for a bit of ball movement here that breaks down the other. Also again looking Trejo's direction. His header on a hop. Vitiello keeps it in play just because. As his side preps a double change at the next stoppage. Trevor Amin has grabbed a shirt. So has Christian Pirano. Birmingham Legion made the one change there at the outset of the second half. Neil Collins has a double change set to occur here in just a moment. 26 plus minutes to go. Trey Garthen, intervention there. Lotso. Pasher picks up his head. Couldn't pick out the pass he wanted though.
Yeah, Trey Garthen did a great job stepping in, winning that ball, and then it gets to Lazo, and he had already taken off. Lazo just couldn't find the passing angle or the passing lane, nor could Tyler Pasher to get him in because he had space in front of him if they could have dumped that ball in the in that space behind the defense.
Patterson back in the direction of Fanwa Cavitas. Birmingham trying to build again. Pasher sinking deep for a touch, trying to get on the ball, as you said a few moments ago. For a Birmingham throw right in front of their own bench, and now Sacramento will make those two changes. Russell Cicerone's night is done. The Argentinian forward Christian Pirano is on, a guy who had made 9 straight starts coming into the nights. He'll come off the bench here for the 3rd time this year, replacing Cicerone. Trevor Amin is the other change, the Colorado native, the former USL League One Player of the Year, will come on and replace Dominic Vonner. Amin, the 27-year-old, now in his 2nd season with Sacramento Republic. A guy who started his college career at the Colorado School of Mines as a mule rider. The School of Mines to Midwestern State in Texas. The USL League One Player of the Year at Northern Colorado Hailstorm, and now with Sacramento.
Interesting stat about Colorado School of the Mines. It was a place that I looked to go play out of high school to go to college. One of the worst male to female ratios in the country, believe it or not.
Really?
I did not go to Colorado School of Mines.
Worse from the male perspective is what I'm gathering.
Certainly, yes,
okay.
yes, yeah. Colorado School of Mines kind of, lends a little bit to kind of the engineering side and maybe, mines.
Makes sense. Danny Vitiello's down, by the way, as he's attended to by the Sacramento training staff, so a de facto water break here for everybody.
Yeah, and here's the thing, if I put myself in both coaches' shoes, right? If I'm Neil Collins, I'm saying, look, we have the possession, we're doing a good job of being patient, but let's try and find a way to play a little bit quicker, maybe find some 1-2s, get into some areas to get in behind the Legion FC defense. They've had success coming at Trey Garthen. Continue to do that, I think. And then if you're Mark Briggs, what I would say is, look, we're okay when we don't have the ball. We have great shape. They haven't created many good chances or any good chances against us so far. So let's continue to do that. But when we win the ball, let's make sure we go at light speed. And let's get forward and let's put them under pressure in situations where they're not expecting to have to defend.
So we'll see if anything changes after the momentary stoppage. Looks like Vitiello is good to go. It'll be a Birmingham throw when we get restarted. Trey Garthen does lob it back into play in the direction of Tyler Pasher. Fans, eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download it now. Gaming console of your choice. Approaching the final stages here of this 90 minutes. Tyler Pasher back on the ball. Kobe Hernandez-Foster. The other side, Patterson. Trejo has Turnbull to his left, Pasher to his right. Didn't prefer either option.
Interesting thing, I just looked up the weather in Sacramento. It says it's 97 degrees, but obviously they're a couple hours behind. Feels like 99. Humidity, 27%. You look at Legion FC, or you look at Birmingham, where we are tonight, the humidity is in the high 80s.
It's a muggy night, but certainly a cooler one.
87% to be exact.
Lasso collects. Vitiello plays it on a hop. Looks like he is close enough to 100% after that play. So to make a couple of important stops tonight, especially in that first half, as Gurr couldn't keep that in play. Possession cheaply given away for a Birmingham throw. As we approach 69th minute, Shea Patterson will keep it moving. Fonwell Kavita and Jake Roof. Birmingham fans, don't forget to stay up to date on all the latest Legion FC news at BHM Legion on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, or the Legion FC app, available in the App Store and Google Play. It's at BHM Legion social media and the Legion FC app. Your home for all things Birmingham Legion FC. Kavita the header, but only to a red shirt. Here are the first few touches for Parado, and a chance to show off some pace. Parado trying to turn the corner, got the cross away. It'll fall for Gurr, blocked away by Kavita on the doorstep.
I'll tell you what, Parado got around and got into that space, and he's lightning quick, but let's not look away from Patterson was able to close him down, but great job from Van Oekel getting back, making sure that he's in a position to help Matt Van Oekel defend his line. That ball may have been going wide, but still a super important intervention from Van Oekel there.
One of the leaders of this team, Fonwell Kavita, just got back about a week and a half ago from his first cap with the Rwandan national team against Algeria. Back in the starting 11 once again tonight for Birmingham, and a big-time stop there. Willie in a tight space. Ben couldn't keep it, wouldn't have mattered. Free kick Birmingham. Looks like Sacramento's got a couple more changes coming as well. The next available moments. Throw-in coming here for the visitors. Fans, the USL Championship and League One are on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. There's live matches, expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com or USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings.
If you're Mark Briggs looking to counter the substitutions that Sacramento are making, you have multiple options. You got Centeno, who's on the bench, who can come on as a defensive-minded player. You've also got Preston Tabor Ataka, who is just rapid and can outrun anybody in this league.
Speaking of pace, Trey Garthen able to get on the end of that. Timmer out to greet him. Trey Garthen trying to go through his legs, thought he got hit in the face. Referee didn't see it that way.
Trey Garthen does a great job. Again, we talked about his ability to go at players 1v1. He nutmegs Timmer, but doesn't get the call, doesn't get the foul called as he tries to go by him. But again, that's been consistent from Melissa Nichols so far tonight. She hasn't really gone in and bought into those little ticky-tack touch fouls, and so Trey Garthen has to know that, and I think he has to try and fight through that a little bit harder and draw a little bit more contact in order to force Nichols to have to make that decision and make that call.
Late challenge from Lasso there. Free kick Sacramento. Sacramento Republic now make those two changes as we get a look at the contact over here.
Yeah, he does a great job of keeping the ball in play, and then whoop, right there, passes it between his legs, and then find a little bit of hand on the face there. But again, not enough for Alyssa Nichols to allow Trey Garthen to earn a foul there.
So Roro Lopez is on, the 38-year-old veteran, now in his 7th season with Sacramento Republic. He checks in here. Blake Willie, and then Michel Benitez will come off as well. Luis Felipe, and that replaces him. So a second double change in the second half for Neil Collins. Sacramento will look for a bit of a spark off the bench here to try to break what has been a game deadlock to this point through 72 plus minutes. Meanwhile, Birmingham is going to counter with two more fresh faces as well momentarily. What does this game have left in it in the closing stages?
It looks like it's Looks like it's going to be Suarez and Centeno that are going to come on for Legion FC. Both defenders, and then Enzo Martinez, you can maybe see off screen running up. Looks like he might be getting ready to come on as well. So maybe a triple substitution for Mark Briggs and Legion FC. Now I can see, I can maybe see AJ Patterson come off. He hasn't had a full 90 minutes for a very, very long time, coming off of an injury. So I think he's put in a good shift, a good 74, 75 minutes. Then I think Turnbull may be coming off. And then if I had to guess, it's either going to be Trejo or it's going to be Pasher. One of those. I don't think those two guys have had the impact that they would have wanted to so far tonight. My guess is. Let's just see.
Let's see what happens.
See what happens.
Quarter hour still to play. The throw. Jake Roof and Birmingham win it back. Roof got clattered for his troubles, but the referee plays the advantage. Was Damas offside? Yes.
Yeah, he was playing in that offside position, and they won the ball. And then, as we talked about, when you win the ball, you got to try and play forward quickly. But they won it so quickly that Damas didn't have any chance whatsoever to get back on side, and just kind of took off a little bit early, a little bit closer than maybe originally once thought. But still, he has to make sure he's in an onside position and can break on those types of plays, because that's where he's really dangerous. He's got plenty of pace. He can get at defenders. You get him forward and into space. It's really what you want. And so Briggs will look at that, and his staff will look at that and say, look, you've got to make sure you stay onside.
Fidiello chipped it in the direction of Spalding, but too tall for him. It's a throw for Birmingham, and now, indeed, it is going to be a triple change for the Legion.
1 for 1.
AJ Patterson coming off. Thiago Suarez on for him. Eric Centeno is coming on for Danny Trejo.
1 for 2.
We're still waiting to see who Enzo Martinez is coming on for as the fourth official gets his board set. It is going to be Ronaldo Damas.
Oh, I wasn't right about a lot of that. 33%, not good.
So,
but that's also why I'm up in the booth and not down on the sidelines.
So 4 second half changes now for Birmingham Legion and Mark Briggs. Eric Centeno, of course, one of the fresher faces to this group. Made 4 straight starts after signing his contract with the Legion last month. Another guy who was on a USL Academy contract back in the day with Sacramento Republic. Thiago Suarez on loan from New England Revolution. Heard from him at halftime, another former Sac Academy player. Enzo Martinez needs no introduction. The 34-year-old, longtime USL Championship veteran of over 75 USL Championship regular season goals. He's on as well as Birmingham Legion chase a goal that would break the deadlock.
Yeah, so interesting enough, so Tregarthen has gone over to the left side, kind of playing that left inside
attacking
midfielder. Pasher's still playing on the right. Martinez is going to be playing as the 9, so I would expect him to drop deep quickly. And then Centeno is now playing as the right wing back where Tregarthen was, which I think is a good switch. I think Centeno has the ability to get at players similar to Tregarthen, but he's more defensive minded than Tregarthen is.
Felipe. Roof cuts out his pass. Lotso tracks back defensively as well. Pasher, was he fouled from behind? Yes. Desmond got just enough of him to draw the ire of the official.
Yeah, and this is a tough pass for Pasher to deal with. It's got pace. He's not sure if it's coming to him. He needs to be ready regardless, but he's got Desmond breathing down his neck, so he's got to figure out a way to get away from him with his first touch. And, Desmond comes through him and he feels that contact and goes down, and referee blows the whistle. So still difficult for Pasher to deal with in that situation. That's always tough when you're back to goal and you have a center back breathing down your neck. You have to be very shifty and very creative in what you're able to do.
Throw in here for the Legion. Turnbull looking for an option. Birmingham fans, don't forget, if you're looking to grab some of this season's Legion FC merch to wear to the next home match at Protective Stadium, Check out all the new gear now, bhmlegion.shop. Again, bhmlegion.shop. Lasso went down. He thought he was fouled. He's holding his leg. Referee said no and is allowing play to continue. Turnbull almost got it to Lasso, whose first touch couldn't quite keep that close enough.
So it's been over 30 minutes since Legion FC have had their last shot on goal. Or attempted a shot, not even on goal. Over 30 minutes. That's a very long time to not go without even pulling the trigger, right? And so, you know, Sacramento, credit to them defensively. They've been able to really take it to Legion FC this half. They haven't created anything themselves, but still plenty of time left in this game for one of these teams to grab a winner.
Just a combined 9 shots between these two sides so far tonight. 5 of Birmingham's 6 shots, as you said, came in that first half. Sacramento Republic with just the 1 shot on target so far tonight. Kovita able to keep that away from Ahmed. Van Oekel looking long over the top. Martinez, was he bent back on side? He was, but Tim able to deal with the long ball, and Gurr clears it back towards the central part of the park. The flag up this time against Trevor Ahmed. Hammond's had a couple of big touches since coming on. Guy who scored a couple of goals this year in the league, plus another goal against San Jose. Sacramento Republic's 2-1 loss that knocked them out of the U.S. Open Cup. Hammond playing as the lone striker right now for Sacramento. Pasture in a tight space. Good turn to find Centeno. Centeno going at Spalding. Got the serve away, whipped aside by Desmond.
And that's what you want from Centeno, getting the ball deep, running at a defender, making a quick move, and then whipping a ball across. Sacramento does a good job defending it. Doesn't beat the first defender, but that's where Centeno thrives.
Suarez. Turnbull, first time for Trey Garthen. Less than 10 minutes to go tonight. Which one of these sides can find a way to break down the other? Birmingham Legion, no doubts, would have no complaints about a clean sheet, but 2 home games this week. They're on a mission to collect some points. Meanwhile, for Sacramento Republic, after a long homestand, draw on the road, a fairly solid start to their road stretch as Suarez is dispossessed. Pirano coming back the other direction, couldn't quite connect with Felipe.
Very good read from Jake Roof there to step in.
And Martinez might be in on goal. Vitiello off his line, and a defining touch from Desmond, who had to go full extension to keep it away from Martinez.
He absolutely did, and he closed down some yardage very, very quickly there. That's great from Desmond. Legion FC win possession here quickly. Trey Garthen slips that ball in, and then look at Desmond. He's away from Martinez here. Vitello here is leaning backwards. You can see he comes across, makes a tackle, gets caught up with Vitello there, but again, that was a tough one for Desmond and Vitiello to deal with, but credit Trey Garthen. That's a fantastic through ball, slipping Enzo Martinez in. That's the kind of things that Legion FC need to do. That's the kind of things that Sacramento need to do in order to get behind their opponent to create a chance. And I think there's certainly talent out there that can do this. You just haven't seen it enough tonight. And credit to each of the teams and their defensive efforts and their organization, but still, each of them will be looking at the flip side of it is we didn't make the other team do enough defensively or create enough of our own attack to put pressure on them. So there's always 2 sides to every pancake, right? And you have to go and look at it from each side because one person is looking at it one way, another's looking at another. and it's always different.
Lee Desmond up to his feet. Looks like he might try to continue here. 30-year-old from Dublin, Ireland. Now in his 4th season with Sacramento. Guy who's missed 5 games already this year, but looks like he's going to be all right. He's off to the side as it stands right now. As Birmingham get the go-ahead to restart play. And the long throw doesn't come off as intended. Suarez racing over to the corner to try to maintain possession, but instead he's called for the foul. Free kick Sacramento, and Birmingham are going to make at least one more change here. As Preston Tabor-Itaka has grabbed his shirts, and he will come on for Edwin Lasso. Tabor-Itaka, the 27-year-old from Cameroon, now in his 3rd season here with Birmingham, a guy that celebrated a birthday last week. This has been his role. Although he's made 5 starts, he has been a dynamic super sub, now appearing for the 8th time off the bench.
That is a very attack-minded substitution. Lazo more of a 6. Tabor-Itaka immediately kind of runs up. He'll probably play that point man in that 9 position for Legion FC. Enzo Martinez drops deeper into midfield. Enzo Martinez is a very attack-minded midfielder, so there could be some holes that open up for Sacramento in the middle of the field, particularly for Fernandez and Ross to get on the ball and maybe dictate a little bit more of these last 10-15 minutes.
Good touch from Felipe. Out wide, Spalding has a bit of space. Closed down by Roof. A different serve is headed away. Good defending by Turnbull. Spalding ushers it out for a Sacramento throw. A little more than 5 minutes plus stoppage time to play. Desmond all the way up to take this Sacramento throw.
You know, if you're Neil Collins in your group, you obviously want to get 3 points, but the key to success in any league is typically draws on the road and wins at home. And so if they get a draw, while they may have won at 3 points, of course, anybody will always take 3 points at any point. But, you know, getting a draw against Legion FC to start off your road trip, you keep a clean sheet, which is also very important. You'll be pretty happy with that.
Martinez plays the big ball to Centeno, who brings it down easily. Centeno serves just a bit beyond Trey Garthen. Gurr heads it over the line. It's a corner coming for the Legion, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, that's a great ball in from Centeno. You know, a good little sequence. He had options. Pasher was streaking down the right side, was trying to create some space for it, created enough, and then you had both Preston Tabor-Itaka and Trey Garthen getting into the box, and Turnbull was coming in back. So, interestingly enough, Legion FC create and get bodies in the box and create a good chance, but now they have a corner because Sacramento had to head it away.
Martinez drives it. Headed right on top of Vitiello. Turnbull denied. A huge block denies Turnbull from point-blank range. Another driven serve, and this time Vitiello plays it on a hop.
Yeah, Legion FC need to get back, and they need to get organized defensively very quickly. Tabor-Itaka on a dead sprint to catch up to Spalding and make him go backwards. Does a great job, and they win possession there. That's really, really good from Tabor-Itaka because Spalding could have broke. Vitiello had picked him up or picked him out, and it put space in front of him. If Tabor-Itaka doesn't close him down there and make him turn around and go backwards, you know, it was 3 on 4 there for Sacramento. It could have been an opportunity for him.
Martinez almost dispossessed, just able to keep it with the team in gold. Kavita looking for Centeno again. Centeno forced centrally. Kobe Hernandez Foster there waiting. Martinez in between the lines on the turn. Out wide Turnbull, first time serve, headed away by Desmond.
Notice what foot did Turnbull take that? Well, what as we get a quick look here, Vitiello can't get to anybody, and Desmond does a great job closing out Turnbull and making the block there because that's going in the bottom corner of Vitiello's net. But you know, circling back, Turnbull, right-footed player, dominant, has to take that cross, open up his hips to try and whip that ball, and doesn't get a good one in. But again, Legion FC, these last 2 or 3 minutes have been putting a lot of pressure on Sacramento.
Pasha right on cue, finds Hernandez Foster, who might have a shooting lane but couldn't keep it down.
Yeah, Kobe Hernandez Foster will want that one back. You know, they did a good job of closing him down. I believe it was Roro Lopez who got close to him and made it difficult for him. But Hernandez Foster can certainly hit him from distance, just like Lasso had done in the first half to try and get one. But one more substitution for Sacramento.
And it's A.J. Edwards, 21-year-old and former UCLA Bruin, who came up through San Jose's academy. He comes off the bench for the 7th time this year, replacing Ryan Spalding, who put in a shift tonight.
Yeah, I think it was a really good effort from Spalding tonight. You think about it, the right side of Legion FC was really, really quiet tonight, and I think that had a lot to do with Spalding. Desmond deserves a lot of credit for that as well, but again, you know, there's still a few minutes left in this game. Probably have 3 to 4 minutes of stoppage time. So overall, we're looking at 5 or 6 minutes left, 4 to 6 minutes left.
Out for a Sacramento throw. So we enter the 90th minute. Word from down below is you were pretty close to spot on. 4 minutes of stoppage time is coming after we get through 90. Couldn't hold that in front of Kavita. Van Oekel clears that away from A.J. Edwards, who collided with him late.
Yeah.
That has to be a card, and it is.
Yeah.
A.J. Edwards is shown yellow just moments after coming on. Matt Van Oekel a bit slow to get up. That felt unnecessary. Yellow card brought to you by Rubio Law Firm, just the second shown tonight.
Yeah, and Edwards is just trying to make a play and hopefully get a similar response than what you used to get on FIFA 64, but comes through and catches Van Oekel. I think Van Oekel may have got the wind knocked out of him, but you know, Edwards certainly coming in late, hot and heavy. He's still not happy about it, waving his hands in the air at Van Oekel as to say, like, look, man, I didn't even touch you. Get up. You're a goalkeeper. Like, be a little bit stronger than that. But nevertheless, Listen Nichols gives Edwards a card. He can at least say he made it into the book tonight.
And he did. 90 minutes are done. 4 minutes of stoppage time brought to you by UAB Medicine is confirmed. Given the stoppages we've had in the second half, certainly could make the case there could be a few more minutes than 4, but that's what we're working with here as we close out the night in the Magic City. Can either side find a late breakthrough that surely would be a game winner? Pasher couldn't get that around Edwards, who collects and wants to run the other direction. Edwards splitting defenders. Here's Pirano running at this back line. Pirano, an opportunity. Edwards couldn't get it back to him. Finding touch from Kobe Hernandez Foster.
At this point, you don't want to make any silly errors in this game. You know, you've had chances to win, but you obviously don't want to be so overzealous that you try and go get the 3 points and force something that in turn creates an opportunity for the opponent. A corner here late for Legion FC. We're 90 seconds into the 4 minutes allowed. So an opportunity for Legion FC. Sacramento, Danny Vitiello is going to be screaming at all his teammates, stay switched on, pick up your marks, make sure you know what you're doing.
Corner brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Centeno with Pasher by that flag. Centeno delivers. Suarez just a bit too tall.
On it. Doesn't trouble Vitiello at all in the end.
Goal kick here for Danny Vitiello and Sacramento. We're through 2.5 of our minimum of 4. Kebu's header only finds Hernandez Foster, who was dispossessed. And in behind here from a tight angle. Van Oekel had it covered. Did he have to make a save? Yes, he did. It's out for a corner.
Yeah, interesting enough, the assistant referee on the opposite side was saying goal kick, but the center referee is given a corner here. Again, this is one of those things you look at and you say, look, could this have been avoided? Matt Van Oekel certainly gets the touch to it. The question is, the ball, is it already out? But it doesn't matter. Legion FC have to be switched on, similar to what we were just talking about with Vitiello and his team. Legion FC need to make sure they are ironclad right now to prevent giving up a goal late in this game.
Trico Lopez serves. Suarez heads it away. Gurr couldn't get much on the volley.
Opportunity to break here. Trey Garthen is wide open. Too many touches from Enzo Martinez there, but you get it to a guy like Tabor Itaka, who's got rapid pace.
Pasher out front of him. Pasher serves. Trey Garthen!
I tell you what, that is such a fantastic counterattack from Legion FC. I criticized Enzo Martinez early on in that. He ends up making the right pass, getting it out to Tabor Itaka, who slips in Pasher, who's now in behind the defense, scrambling to get back. Because on a corner, Sacramento pushes your big guys there. So plays that ball, plays it across to Trey Garthen, who's made a lung-busting run to get into the box to give his team a chance to win the game. And literally with the last touch of the night, Trey Garthen buries that ball into the back of the net. And if you could only see Mark Briggs' reaction and his staff, the adrenaline coming out of him right now, getting this win tonight, was huge. I really want to point this out. So right there, look at this. So you can't see off screen, but here comes Trey Garthen into this area, and Pasher, first time, he doesn't take a touch, just whips this ball in right here for Trey Garthen. Let's watch this transpire here. And easy as you like, 6 yards away from goal. Again, Tabor Itaka plays a perfectly weighted pass. Trey Garthen gets across Desmond, puts that ball in the back of the net. Legion FC walk away with 3 points. This is a huge 3 points for them. Neil Collins and his team will feel hard done by after putting together such a great performance on the road in Birmingham to start their road trip. But Legion FC, we talked about how vital it was for them to get 3 points. You saw the reaction from Mark Briggs on the sidelines.
Sebastian Trey Garthen, his first professional goal, ends the night tonight. Full-time Birmingham Legion 1, Sacramento Republic 0. At the very last, Birmingham Legion rescue 3 points here at Protective Stadium. And the game where felt like surely someone was going to find a breakthrough. It happens on the match's very last play of the night. Enzo Martinez and his teammates set up the game-winning goal at the very last. Birmingham Legion pick up their 3rd win of the year with a late stoppage time winner from Sebastian Trey Garthen and a 1-0 victory tonight. Mark Briggs with handshakes and hugs for plenty of the crew who traveled from Northern California, from Sacramento, but it's his new team, Birmingham Legion, who pick up the victory at home tonight. 1-0 Birmingham Legion over Sacramento Republic. A game that was hard fought, defensive all night long. A moment of brilliance late. The difference as the fans start to come onto the field here at Protective Stadium. It was quite the show. What a game. It was hard fought to the very end. Had some drama left in it late. Mark Briggs and company pick up 3 points tonight with a stoppage time winner. Kennedy Baxter standing by with the head man for Birmingham Legion FC.
Back with Coach Briggs following the final whistle. Coach, a tough-fought game and a well-deserved win, coming away with 3 points for your team. How are you going to build on this momentum going into the Oakland game at home on Saturday?
I think we have to show the same intensity. We have to show the same quality and the same hunger to keep going. And you saw at the end tonight, because we kept going, we ended up getting a really, a nice win for me.
Thank you, Coach, and congratulations.
Thanks, Kennedy. Thanks to Mark Briggs. He picks up 3 points at home against his former club with his new club. Sebastian Tregarthen's first professional goal, the difference in stoppage time tonight. We'll step aside, wrap things up for the Magic City when we return.
What are you doing?
I'm installing fiber optic cables.
Why?
Fix problems before they happen.
Why?
Keep the power on.
Why?
So your night light can keep the monsters away.
There are monsters?
No, wait.
It's time to hammer down. Single game tickets on sale now. Get your tickets today.
Back here at Protective Stadium, home to Birmingham Legion FC. Fans on the field, as is tradition here in Birmingham, Alabama. Plenty of smiles after that finish. Birmingham Legion 1, Sacramento Republic 0. Blake Gardner, Morgan Copes here with you as we look at our final stats after 90 minutes. Morgan, it was defensive, it was hard fought, and in the end, just enough time left for one final counterattack that proved to be the difference.
Absolutely, and Legion FC made the most of that one. Again, a really tough result for Sacramento. They did enough to earn a draw tonight, I thought. But again, made mention of these teams have the talent and the capability to strike in an instant. Legion FC, a picture-perfect counterattack to take all 3 points tonight here in Birmingham. Legion FC have a knack for scoring goals late in matches. They now have 6 goals in the last 15 minutes. No team in the USL Championship has more this season.
Birmingham Legion once again rescue points, but this time it's 3 big ones at home to start this homestand. Meanwhile, a tough start to the road trip for Sacramento Republic, and they have more traveling to do. Coming up on Saturday against Rhode Island FC. 4 o'clock Pacific time start for that contest before they get back to the West Coast. Trips to Orange County and Las Vegas Lights. That Orange County match, of course, part of the USL Jägermeister Cup. Meanwhile, coming up for Birmingham Legion, they have a quick turnaround as well, but here on their home turf against Oakland Roots, 7 o'clock Central Time start for that one. BHMLegion.com/tickets for your tickets to that match. Of course, you can follow along at BHM Legion on X for live match updates. Of course, a trip to Indiana to take on Indy 11 to see who takes sole possession of their Jaeger Cup group coming up here in just a few days. But like we said, all smiles down on the turf below, and certainly a happy heart for that guy, Mark Briggs, going against his former team for the first time tonight. And in the end, his new team is the winner thanks to this guy, Sebastian Tregarthen. The substitute collects his first professional goal and wins it late. Birmingham Legion FC tonight. Had some late drama to start Week 16 in the USL Championship. But a game that was hard fought and a defensive struggle at times ends with a bang. Thanks for watching our coverage of the USL Championship from Birmingham, Alabama tonight. It was a grind, it was chippy, it was contentious at times. This East versus West showdown goes to the Eastern Conference team. Birmingham Legion 1, Sacramento Republic 0 for Morgan Copes and our entire crew here in the Magic City. I'm Blake Gardner saying thanks for watching our coverage. We'll talk to you this weekend as Week 16 continues in the USL Championship. Until then, have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you this Saturday.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.